Hello, Forge Masters, Brendan Gray here. Welcome back to Super Mario Galaxy. As you remember, last time we beat the game one final time. For those of you who are wondering, this is how you play Super Luigi Galaxy.
Luigi.
You can start a new game by going into this. By hitting this icon, you can play as Luigi and continue the game. And try to 100% it again, and go through a final star. There is one extra star that you can get as Luigi. I will not be showing you this.
Mario.
What I plan to show you is something that I riddled at earlier in the game series.
Whee!
Due to unfortunate circumstances, I've decided to voice over this section. I will be reading to you.
Ooh.
Let us begin.
Chapter 1, The Celestial Duo. Our story begins a very, very long time ago, with a young girl. One day, this girl spotted a rusted spaceship holding a small star child. "What's your name? Are you lost?" the girl asked the star child. "I'm Luma, and I'm waiting for Mama. She's coming for me on a comet," said the star child, who had been waiting day and night. "Don't worry, I'll wait with you," the little girl promised Luma. At nightfall, the little girl borrowed her father's telescope and peered into the sky. She looked and looked, but she saw nothing. Hours turned into days and then years, but still the sky revealed nothing. Finally, the little girl sighed and said to the Luma, "If we stay here looking much longer, I'll be an old lady soon." But then she had an idea. "Why don't we go out there and find your mother ourselves?" The girl and Luma fixed up the rusty spaceship, and then the two set sail into the starry sky, and this is how the search for the Celestial Mother began. Chapter 2, Star Bits. Days passed with no sight of the comet or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see. "If I had known it was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam," said the little girl above the rumble of her belly. Before they left, she had packed all the essentials: telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot-flavored tea. But "I forgot to bring water." And at this, Luma burst into gales of laughter, and the girl began to pout. "As long as I have star bits, I'll be fine," said Luma. "Want some?" The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in. "Alright, maybe just a nibble." Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect star bits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The star bits tasted like honey. Chapter 3, The Comet. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet shining out. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get to that comet!" Bear descended on the comet and found that it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. Look. Oh, Luma said that. Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of star bits encased in the ice. Pretty good, huh? Finding star bits is my specialty, said Luma, beaming. There's ice here, but it's so warm. I will bet there's water here too. Two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued their search for Luma's mother. Chapter 4. The Dream. One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked her mother, retreating back. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you, like the sun in the day and the moon in the night." A wave of sadness washed over the girl. "What about when it rains, and I can't see the sun or the moon?" Her mother thought of for a moment before responding. "I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry." When she awoke, the girl's face was stamped with tears. "You have stars in your eyes," said the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied, "These are tears, not starbits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother again, ever again." At this, Luma began to cry too. "Mama, oh mama." I'm not gonna mimic that, sorry. The pair traveled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, no one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was disappointed. Despondent. Whatever. Now, Luma. The rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying," the little girl said, giving Luma a squeeze. "I'll give you a present if you stop." The girl closed her eyes and said gently, "I'll take care of you." These words, she felt a small spark in her heart. Chapter 5. Home. "The kitchen will go here, and the library will go over there," the girl said busily to herself. "We'll put the gate here." Ever since the girl took Luma under her care, she'd been hustling about at a feverish pace. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to make a happy home. Turns out that star bits weren't the only things buried in the ice. There were tools and furniture unlike any that had ever seen, and the girl used them to build a home. Damn, that's huge. Looking at the completed house, Luma remarked, "Don't you think it's awfully big for just the two of us?" With a library, bedroom, kitchen, fountain, and gate, it was certainly spacious. But still, something seemed to be missing. "If only my father, brother, and mother were here," the girl said wistfully. Indeed, the house was too large for its two small residents. That night, Clutching her favorite stuffed bunny close to her heart, the girl fell asleep in the starship. Chapter 6. Friends. Then one day, while the girls sat sipping tea, a tiny apricot-colored planet appeared on the horizon. From the planet, another Luma of the same color emerged. "Do you two know each other?" the girl asked to the two Lumas. Despite the girls' excitement, they seemed uneasy. Wow, I fucked up and everything, and it still took that long? Two Lumas neither drew closer nor backed away from each other. Instead, they just stared. Then one Luma broke the silence. "My mama." At once, the apricot Luma parroted back. "My mama, my mama. My mama, my mama." Two Lumas began to dance around the girl frantically, and neither showed any sign of stopping. Just imagining that. The girl was so charmed by this adorable scene that she couldn't help but laugh. And that's when something I couldn't read that. Sorry. Suddenly, more Lumas began to pop out from the apricot planet. They were different colors, but they all shouted the same thing. "My mama, my mama." The sight of all the shouting Lumas only made the girl laugh harder. "What am I going to do with all these children?" The Lumas just stared blankly as she doubled over laughing. "I guess we'll have to name each and every one of you." Tomorrow, when she had finished naming them all, she would begin moving all the Lumas into the new house. Chapter 7. The Telescope. After seeing through 100th comet, a sudden thought popped into the girl's head. I wonder if my home planet is still as blue as it was. That's when she remembered her father's telescope. Peeking into the telescope, a tiny blue dot floated into sight. It was smaller than a star bit. How strange. It's so far away, but it feels so close. That's what happens when you look in the telescope. She twisted the knob of the telescope, and the blue dot grew until she could make out a grassy hill dotted with flowers. It seemed very familiar to her. Okay, how can a telescope see that clearly? Zooming even closer, a terrace on the hill came into view. I used to go stargazing there when I lived on my home planet. She remembered rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as she followed her father up that hill to look at the stars. She remembered how she and her brother would head down that hill. She remembered having picnics with her mother on that hill on bright and windy days. Oh, I'm gonna start crying soon. And I want to go home. I want to go home right now. The girl burst into tears, and the Lumas didn't know what to do. I want to go home. I want to go back to my house by that hill. I want to see my mother. The girl was shouting now, her face wet with tears. My face is wet with tears now. But I know she's not there. I knew all along that she wasn't out there in the sky because she's sleeping under the tree on the hill. Mind you, this is a Nintendo game. The girl's cries echoed through the stars. The hush fell over the area. Chapter 8. The Wish. Though usually quite cheery, one day the girl became sad again. Luma drew close and tried to comfort her. Mama, you still have me. And don't be sad about your mama, because she's a part of you. That means she's always close to you. Close by. It's like me. I love star bits because they remind me of my mama. Oh, no, the girl said, unable to stop the tears. A lonely look flickered across Luma's face, but it was soon replaced by a wide grin. I have an idea. I will transform into a comet and soaring comet that can carry you all on this journey. With that, Luma, trailing bands of light, soaring high into the sky, and just as quickly started to plummet back down. Fucking up so badly here. I'm sorry. Kaboom! Kablam! Ground shook, and the bright light poured out of the crater at the Luma. And I couldn't read fast enough. I'm sorry. The bands of light twisted together to form a comet tail. And then Luma emerged, reborn as a comet. The girl could scarcely believe her eyes. But how? She kept asking. Our destiny as Lumas is to transform into different things, said a red Luma who had suddenly appeared. Stars, comets, planets, we can become all of these things. When I grow up, I want to become a star that makes someone special smile, said a green Luma. Blue Luma chimed in. That Luma turned into a real cutie of a comet, didn't he? Okay. All of the Lumas together said, No more crying, Mama. Thank you, said the girl in a whisper. She pulled the Lumas close and hugged them. From that day on, star bits no longer fell from the girl's eyes. The comet set forth for the girl's home planet, its long tail blazing proudly behind it. Final chapter. Family. With its many lumas and telescopes, the comet was quite a sight to behold. The girl and the lumas were proud to call it home. At a welcoming party for a new Luma, the girl gathered everyone in the kitchen and said in a louder voice than usual, All right, everyone, let's make a cake. A cake sprinkled with star bits. Then it will be a star cake. Lumas excitedly began to gather the ingredients. Eat it! As she watched the Lumas scurry about, the girl smiled and thought to herself, This is my family now. I will stay with them until they're ready to leave the nest. And when they do leave, I'll see them off with a smile. Because that's what makes a mother happiest. My heart! That night, when the girl lay down to sleep, a soft light enveloped her and reminded her of the blue planet she once called home. But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite sleeping nook. The comet carried the Lumas, and the girl continues on its journey to this very day. With more family members in tow than can be counted, it's said that the comet visits the girl's home planet once every 100 years, its proud white tail glittering in the sky. The end. That's all. Story is finished. That, you can always reread the book every time you go here. I would like to thank you all for being with me. And might I add that I am sorry that I had to voice over the whole story. Every part of my voice was not being captured. And back to normal item. Thank you. For those of you who have been waiting for these last few episodes, be proud as you have finally made it to the end. For those of you who are just now seeing these, go ahead and rewatch all the older videos. I'm a little bit more charismatic in those videos, and also younger, since I recorded those videos a long time ago. I hope you all enjoyed this adventure, and I hope to see you all in the next one. So please, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anymore. And let me know in the comments if you would like me to play through Mario Galaxy 2, or any other games that you have in mind. Now, for me, I'm going to say I had a lot of fun making this series, even though I had a lot of gripes, losing footage, and going through all the hassle. But it makes me proud to say that I finally finished. So thank you. Thank you all for being with me. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, join our Discord with the link in the description down below. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next Let's Play. Ciao for now.